This episode of Wizards of Waverly Pod is brought to you by HelloFresh. With HelloFresh, you get farm-fresh, pre-portioned ingredients and seasonal recipes delivered right to your doorstep. When you order HelloFresh, you can skip your trips to the grocery store and count on HelloFresh to make home cooking fun, easy, affordable, and delicious. We love cooking HelloFresh. My wife Yulia and I, we have such a good time together. It's really fun. And our favorite recipes are mushu pork bowls and pork sausage and bell pepper pasta. Cut down on time spent in the kitchen. Every week's menu features options that are ready in 20 minutes or less. Plans are flexible, so they work with your changing schedule. Go to HelloFresh.com/Wizards app for free appetizers for life. One appetizer item per box while subscription is active. That's free appetizers for life at HelloFresh.com/Wizards app. America's #1 meal kit.
This is a Podco original.
Wait a minute.
Yeah.
I just want to tell you about that outfit, the
Tell me
deep
about
battery
the
guy.
outfit.
I loved that outfit
I
so
know,
much.
it was one of your favorites.
I remember I went to 7-Eleven in that costume.
Yes!
It wasn't Halloween or anything. I went there.
But it's
and-
also Los Angeles.
Yeah, I mean, it just was fun to go out and do that. And I, on Halloween, borrowed that.
Did you really?
And yeah, went out trick-or-treating with my
Amazing.
kids and that.
Which, by the way, can I just say, it broke my heart a little bit watching this episode. Because I remember, I felt like such an awkward teenager. And I remember feeling so fat in that outfit. And I remember feeling like I had such acne. There's one over-the-shoulder shot where I'm like, there's all my little acne. And I look back at that and I was like, I wish I could just go back and hug her and be like, you look great. I so remember it was the weirdest setup and it looks so weird to me.
Because it looks like you guys are sitting.
We are
on
sitting.
you are
We were
sitting.
sitting. We were sitting. I remember it so clearly.
Like on a green screen
We
or
were sitting
something?
on a green screen and these chairs, these little chairs. And they told us to literally sit there and to act like we were in space. Which Selena, God bless her, is just like, fuck that, I'm not doing shit. And then literally and I'm over there going like, oh my God,
Yeah.
I'm in space, which we absolutely are sitting. And we look like we're sitting down. Hey guys, welcome to another rewatch of Wizards of Waverly Pod where we go in space.
This is a big episode.
Yeah.
There's a lot of information that comes out of the bag.
It's out of the bag. In space. It's a turning point in the show.
And if you guys want to continue watching, then help us out with following us on Spotify, Apple, or wherever you listen or watch podcasts. Do you watch podcasts? Hello?
What?
Hello?
Hello?
Hey, we're on a podcast called Wizards of Waverly Pod.
I love Adeloise intro. How are you, honey?
I'm good. You know what? I'm just trying to keep my head above water.
Dude, tell me about it. Literally, I feel like this whole month has kicked my ass and I'm ready for it to be done.
Yeah.
I'm ready for it to be over. But
What do you do when it's over? What do? You go on a camping trip? You go on a...
Well, June I'm going to Yosemite, which I'm very
Nice.
excited about.
I've never been there. Have
I
you
haven't
been there
either.
before?
I haven't either. I realized I've been in California for so long. I mean, you've been here longer than I have.
52 years.
Hey, and I realized I love being outside. I love nature, and I haven't hit California has the most national parks of any state in one state, and I haven't hit most of them, which is bullshit. I've gone to Joshua Tree, I've gone to Redwoods, but I haven't gone to so many of them. So
Well, that's two more than I have. So that's
you
awesome.
haven't been to Joshua Tree?
Oh, wait. I went to Joshua Tree.
I was about to say.
I haven't been to the Grand Canyon. I know
Really?
that's not what
but
we're talking
still,
about. But I know it's a little silly, but it's on the list. But we went to Joshua Tree and we stayed in a teepee.
Oh, really? Oh, fun.
And I think it was haunted.
Great.
Because in the middle of the night,
By who?
flap, I don't know, but it was like an Airbnb. They had Airstreams, a teepee.
It was
and
just
a
the
thing.
owner just fucking with you in the middle of the night.
Could be. But it was nice. They had a bed and a thing and all this stuff. And then they had a general area where people could take a shower or, barbecue or something. But
Was it multiple teepees or just one
one big teepee,
Okay.
3 or 4 Airstreams.
and then a huge orgy?
And then there was an orgy. I didn't get the memo. What?
You were
But it's-
uninvited to the orgy.
That was kind of camping-ish. We haven't really.
Okay. You were glamping.
Yes, glamping. I have a
Glamping.
tent and I was going to say
Can
suitcases.
we go camping?
Yeah.
I would
Well, can
really
we go
love
rock
that.
climbing first?
Yes, we'll go rock climbing first, since that's my new favorite
Who
hobby.
did you run into when you went rock climbing last inside?
Actually, it's funny that you asked, because I ran into somebody else too that was like, whatever. But
Wait
anyway,
a minute. No, I want to know.
No,
You
it
can't
wasn't.
keep things
No,
from...
I'm sorry. I'll tell you off camera.
Okay.
But no, that
Wait,
I just
hold on. Okay, now you can tell me.
no, I ran into. I didn't run into her because I wanted her to like do her thing. But Billie Eilish and Phineas were rock climbing, and I was like, oh,
That is so cool.
Okay.
Now, her teacher,
Yeah.
her singing teacher when she was younger, was my cousin, John DeLuise. And I hung out with her when she was younger at kind of Christmas parties, and her parents are the nicest, sweetest people in the world. So we'll see. Maybe wouldn't that be nice to have her on the podcast?
it would be
Because
great.
her that
she's
song,
a little busy.
that song that
Bad
she,
Guy?
was sampled from Wizards,
Which is still wild to me.
I
think
love
it's
that.
so cool. And I also just the way that I think they use like Logic Pro or something, like something super accessible to make their music. And I just think like, what a great duo. And I love that they're like, it's a family duo. Like, yeah.
Well, bands are good. Like there's a lot of brothers and sisters and stuff that have bands that are together, right?
Yeah.
That's like a thing.
No, and I feel like they bring out probably the best in each other. I'm pontificating. I don't know them.
They're so cool.
Yeah. Okay.
I mean, when she was very young, she was a fan of the show. So that was, it was nice to just see it. It's nice when good things happen to good people.
Yeah, it is. And I mean, she's almost got like an EGOT, right? She's got an Oscar. She's got a Grammy. She's amazing. I don't think she's got an Emmy and a Tony. So we're halfway there.
All right.
Give
on
time.
it.
Give it time. She's what, like early 20s? Jesus. Okay. So this week, what I know about this week is it's about Harper Knows.
And we're both in the episode.
Which always helps. Originally aired November 23rd, 2008, written by Gigi and Perry, who we all know here at Wizards of Waverly Pod.
Who were writers on Friends.
Friends.
So nice.
And directed by Victor Gonzalez, who we'll have on the show.
He was like our
at some
staff
point.
director. Yeah. Victor wants to come on with Guy. And Victor and Guy, who was our first and also directed.
Yeah.
And if you guys are listening, get on the pod already.
Well, Guy's a little busy because Guy, who worked on the show throughout a lot, he directed a lot of the episodes. He's actually working on the sequel, so he's a little busy, and we'll have him on when he sort of gets that going.
They're gonna do it.
So to the episode, we start off in the sub shop where Alex magically makes brownies, and Justin gets mad at her for cheating by using her wand. Harper arrives and asks Alex to help her with her PopCon costume, which is obviously a Comic-Con, but we can't say that. Which she is finally old enough to enter because her birthday is coming up.
Which is so weird because how old do you have to be in a costume contest?
Yeah.
I mean, they have like
Maybe it's like 13 because I think we were like 13, 14 at the time, probably about 14. So like 13 makes sense to me.
Or it's just the way of them saying, this is something new for the character to do,
Well, and I think it made it more impactful because we find out that Alex completely forgot about Harper's birthday.
Which is she's such a bad friend in this episode. It's like ridiculous. And I think they emphasize that. I had to kind of come to terms with the fact that you guys are good friends and she doesn't know your birthday. She's lying to you all the time.
I justified it as we just have different love languages. She shows her affection differently than Harper.
Okay, good. I like how you justified
That's how I justified it on the show. But Jerry overhears that PopCon is in town and the Russos all get really excited. And
then Max thinks it's popcorn.
Well, because it's Max, of course. And then we cut back to everybody's in costume, right? You are in the D Battery Guy costume. Teresa is dressed as Supersonica. Max is continuing his love of Luchador as Chico Loco, which we had in the Quinceañera episode.
Right.
And then Alex, of course, not into it, is in pajamas as Sleepy Annoyed Girl.
But somehow there's a Sleepy Annoyed Girl.
But somehow there's Pajama Girl.
Oh, that's what it is,
which we
right.
find out later.
And what is David's, he's got like a hammer or something.
Yeah, but
right?
I don't think they ever said, though, because I was like waiting to hear. I was like, what is he? And I don't know if they ever said. Let us know in the comments if they said what his character was called. Because I didn't catch it if they said it. Suddenly, the emergency wizards alert goes off.
Wait a minute.
Yeah.
I just want to tell you about that outfit, the D
Tell me
Battery
about the
Guy.
outfit.
I loved that outfit
I
so
know,
much.
it was one of your favorites.
I remember because I think we pre-shot some of the stuff on Thursdays. We would pre-shoot stuff.
Because there was a lot of like stunts and stuff. in this
without the
episode.
audience and stuff. And I went to 7-Eleven in that costume.
Yes!
It wasn't Halloween or anything. I went there.
But it's
and-
also Los Angeles.
yeah. I mean, it just was fun to go out and do that. And I, on Halloween, borrowed that.
Did you really?
And yeah, went out trick-or-treating with my
Amazing.
kids and that. So.
Oh, I wish the episode had aired so like people would have known what you were. But also like walking to 7-Eleven, because we shot at Hollywood Center Studios, which is now named something else. But it's only a few blocks down from Hollywood Boulevard. So
Yeah.
I'm sure they were just like, this is one of those from up on the street. This is some low rent, you know, like Marvel character or something, or DC character. I also loved the gag that you have, because Teresa has Jerry hold her purse.
right.
Get it off. And you like can't get it off.
The purse bit was
Yeah,
so funny.
I
It
love
made
the
me
purse
laugh
bit.
because I'm like putting all the stuff or whatever, probably free food or whatever it is, because I don't want to spend money at the Comic-Con or the convention or whatever it is. And she's like, Supersonica doesn't wear a purse. And then I put it on and trying to get it off and it was so funny to me.
That and the bit when you go into the lair and there's like the two levers. There's like one
yeah,
really
yeah, yeah.
small one and one really big one. And the big one turns on the lamp.
Right, you go.
thought it was such a good gag.
The thing is, you go for the big one, but then you press the little one, and then
fake out.
and then the big one does the lamp.
Yeah.
Okay.
So when the emergency wizards alert goes off in the lair, Officer Goblin and Officer Lamp are back, but this time Officer Goblin has 2 legs instead of 4, like he did before.
Yeah, it's
Just
weird.
don't ever acknowledge it. Assigning the Russos to be on the lookout for rogue wizards who like to hide in plain sight at PopCon amongst the other freaks and weirdos as a mandatory part of their wizard training. And then
I have to say,
yeah, please.
I had a little bit of a problem
Uh-oh.
because,
You have a grievance.
well, I mean, Jerry
Mm-hmm.
knows the rules. Jerry knows what's going on and can be.
hope.
Well, I mean, I don't know why they made it these police wizards
Mm-hmm.
when there's a lot of stuff in the episode that Jerry could have taken over and said, don't do that, or, you're exposing magic, or, do this, or,
So you wanted to take jobs from 2 grown men so that you could have more lines? Is that what I'm hearing?
Okay, so if you watch this scene, everybody, the scene that's in the lair, I turn on or off the alarm and I don't say anything
Yeah.
else. I'm watching myself.
Are you waiting for like bullshit my line?
No. It's like the stuff that they were saying, the wizard
They
stuff.
could have thrown you some of that.
I would have been nice. I just felt like I was just there,
I have many scenes like that where I was just standing there and just casually in like an igloo or whatever I was
Yeah.
wearing at the time. So yeah,
I did,
get
and
it.
as we all know, Third Rock from the Sun, and there was the pilot was called Life as You Know It, and I was in that, and I'm like a college kid, and I
Yeah.
picked up on this girl, and I'm like, hey, how you doing? You want to hang out? And then Joey Gordon-Levitt, who was 12,
Yeah.
went up to someone and was like, hey, how you doing? You want to hang out?
Yeah.
And there was another scene at the college,
Mm-hmm.
and the assistant director said, "Do you want David and the other guy to be in the back?"
Sure.
And Jim Burrows, who directed all Will and Grace, Friends, I mean, he's like the director,
Yeah.
said, "No, I don't want." If there are not background but actors in the scene,
You don't want him in. Yeah.
well, then people are expecting them to say something.
Yeah.
So
makes
he was
sense.
like, I don't want them in there. So I learned that. Okay, I'm
Yeah.
done talking. This episode of Wizards of Waverly Pod is brought to you by HelloFresh. With HelloFresh, you get farm-fresh, pre-portioned ingredients and seasonal recipes delivered right to your doorstep. When you order HelloFresh, you can skip your trips to the grocery store and count on HelloFresh to make home cooking fun, easy, affordable, and delicious. We love cooking HelloFresh. My wife Yulia and I, we have such a good time together. It's really fun. And our favorite recipes are mushu pork bowls and pork sausage and bell pepper pasta. Cut down on time spent in the kitchen. Every week's menu features options that are ready in 20 minutes or less. Plans are flexible, so they work with your changing schedule. Go to HelloFresh.com/Wizards app for free appetizers for life. One appetizer item per box while subscription is active. That's free appetizers for life at HelloFresh.com/Wizards app. America's #1 meal kit.
You don't have. Then this is going to be a very one-sided podcast, and nobody wants that. Okay, we're at the convention. The Russos are on the lookout for the rogue wizards. Jerry slips up and remembers going to PopCon with someone dressed as Calico Girl that was not Teresa.
Fuck, this was so funny to me.
Ooh, you stepped in it.
I want to just go back to the purse thing for a bit in my notes.
Okay.
A friend, I'm dyslexic, as everybody knows, and my friend Shelly texted me and said, should I get a purse?
Yeah.
And I was like, of course, you deserve it. You've been working hard and this and that. And then I saw her 2 days later, and she pulled up in a new car, a Prius.
A Porsche.
And I was like, what the? Why didn't
Or
you
Prius,
tell me?
a Prius, not a Prius.
Why didn't you tell me that you got a Prius? And she's like, you fucking told me to get the
You
Prius.
deserve it. You worked really hard. That's so funny.
I didn't know. Purse, Prius. Okay.
So it's like an anagram. There's like words mixed around. I think that's
I
the
read
right
it
word.
won.
Anagram.
Okay, so
Well, you were very encouraging either way
I
on the
say,
purchase.
oh wow, I love being here, and you were dressed up as what was it, Calico
Girl
in Nevada or something, and she's like, that wasn't me, and I just laughed so hard, and I'm like, I'm gonna go buy you something. Mm-hmm. I thought that was so.
Well,
funny.
I love that. That's because in a later episode you step in it. I mean, Jerry stepped in it with Teresa all the time. But I love, like, in a later episode, you talk about buying her I'm sorry gifts, and you also all the kids are always like, ooh, and that was a perfect ooh moment.
Oh my God, this is like Beverly Hills Housewives. I didn't even realize that I did that on the show.
Yeah.
Because Maurizio bought her a ring or something, and they're not together anymore.
Oh.
But there was a whole.
This is Housewives lore?
Well, it's not lore. I watched it.
Whatever.
It's there.
Yeah.
But Kyle has a ring, and they're like, it's if somebody cheats, then they buy you a ring or they buy you something.
Yeah.
It's I did a wrong thing.
I guess.
Yeah. So I didn't know that.
I haven't dated those dudes. They just fuck up and leave. Womp, womp, womp. Okay. Anyway. So Hugh Normus is there to help with his tiny little
Josh
comic
Sussman
book.
is
Josh
back.
Sussman back. Alex realizes she actually did dress up as a character, Pajama Girl, when she sees a girl dressed in identical pajamas walking by, which what are the odds? They all head to the information booth. Justin has gotten way into patrolling, which is not surprising, and starts assigning sectors. Alex assigns herself to the Galactic Kettle Corn because Harper hates Galactic Kettle Corn, and she's trying to avoid her.
Which is interesting because that's her being a good friend, that she knows that.
Yes.
Like
it's a different love language.
The interesting thing is they don't know that Hugh Normus is going to be there. Mm-hmm. And then when Justin is handing out the walkie-talkies.
Maybe he improvised.
He says, no. He says, here's the map that I drew out. And you guys go here. You guys go here, and Hugh Normus goes here. Yet he didn't know he was going to be there.
Maybe they talked on WizFace or something.
Okay. I love how you justify everything. I'm like, you're
like finding all the problems.
What I don't understand is, listen, I guess I understand it's a kid's show and everything, but like, it's just such a simple thing to say, and Hugh, you go there, because he was like, this is your sector, as if it was already predetermined. I'm sorry, everybody.
No. It's a valid point. But I love Justin's line where he goes, that's not your sector, sister, or whatever he says. They're so funny because there's some lines that are so like deep in my brainstem, and that was one of them.
It's stuck in your brain.
It's stuck in my brain. So meanwhile, Jerry and Teresa run into Harper dressed in her homemade Battle Diva costume, which I completely forgot the little lunch tray as the shield.
Yeah.
It's so like DIY.
Without looking,
Yeah.
Do you know the battle cry?
Battle Diva, rise to the stars where you belong. yeah.
Whoa! For people who can't see us, Jennifer Stone is floating.
I just flew. With strings and all. So Harper asked Jerry and Teresa to hold her place in line to get Battle Diva's autograph because it's her birthday, so she can practice discipline and force herself to eat food she doesn't like and go get some kettle corn.
Which I then say,
yeah.
Oh, that's so sweet that you're doing that for Alex's friend. And then I put my goggles on and I beeline it out. And
you leave Teresa. You like trick Teresa into waiting.
I liked that.
But you don't.
We all kind of manipulate
Rotated.
ourselves to get in and out of line.
And then she runs off with Battle Diva's cry. Battle Diva, rise to the stars where you belong. And then Teresa's waiting in line for Harper. So we find Harper forcing herself to eat kettle corn, which she promptly spits out in disgust and shoves it in the trash. And Alex is hiding behind a wizard's cutout, which Max mistakes as a rogue wizard. It's like a wizard's, like a animated wizard cutout.
Yes, and that was Natalie.
Yeah.
from the office.
The Battle Diva was.
Battle Diva
Natalie.
was right.
Yeah.
Max comes in and grabs the.
Yeah, because it's like an animated wizard cartoon or something. He grabs that. He's like, it's a rogue wizard, which
I'm
Alex is
surprised they
hiding
didn't
behind.
bring in the aardvark.
That's
you
true.
know, that's bunk thing into this.
Yeah.
But I just loved, and Natalie was so sweet, and she like did everything in the office and helped with the audience and everything. And I love that she was in the show.
She was in a few of we had a few of our behind the scenes. Like there was one where it's like a pop art picture of Harper, and another one of our behind the scenes people drew it, and like it just. We tried to sprinkle them in because they were so much a part of the show into the show when we
They were so great. And also on our Patreon, there's it's on there now where
the Glee thing.
Yeah, where they did like a spoof thing, and they really put a lot of effort into shooting like a behind the scenes funny thing of the, you know.
Okay. Yeah, because it was like for one of our like rap parties or something at the end of the season. I think it was like the 3rd or 4th season.
And also on the Patreon is a lot of bloopers and stuff and behind the scenes stuff.
So join that if you haven't already for fun behind the scenes thing. Okay, so Alex is hiding behind a wizard's cutout, which Max mistakes as a rogue wizard. And then Alex uses lies, I need a disguise on a Battle Diva cutout with Natalie to swap costumes, but realizes Battle Diva doesn't have a mask. So it's completely pointless to hide from Harper. So then Harper sees the Battle Diva cutout wearing pajamas and is upset because that's all wrong. Justin and Hugh catch Alex and she zaps out of the Battle Diva costume and back into her pajamas. And we discover that the costume is enchanted with Battle Diva's powers, including making people say things twice.
Yeah, I wrote that down. Like, what? Making people say things twice? Making people say things twice? Like, what is, what is
what's
like,
the advantage?
Yeah.
Like, what's the,
It's just, I don't know. How does that affect anything in a...
I think it had to have been our writers just being like, okay, so she's got flight. She's got like all super strength. Let's give her something just totally off the wall wonky.
Also, stay with me here, but the cardboard cutout, when Alex magically makes that outfit come on her, it becomes...
enchanted.
Right.
Yeah.
That's why.
Yeah, because lies, I need a disguise enchants it with whatever the costume's powers are, I guess. So Harper sees Alex and asks her what she's doing at the convention, because obviously she's very upset because Alex said she couldn't go and couldn't help her with the costume. So now that she's there, it's really upsetting.
Alex is being a butthead.
I mean we all have our moments.
Yeah, but I mean, I think they really played up her being not nice to put the pressure on her to reveal, which happens later.
Yeah.
You know?
But I mean, that's a huge secret to reveal. It puts her family at risk. It puts her at risk. It puts the whole wizarding world at risk to tell her. So the stakes have to be high enough to make that make sense, to take that kind of risk.
Yes.
So I guess it makes sense that they're playing that up. So like the guilt is a little bit heavier than just casual, you know?
Okay.
Again, justifying it.
Have we gone back to Maria?
Not yet. We're almost there.
Okay.
Okay, so Harper's confused about why she's with the emergency wizard goblin, and he makes up the excuse, which is the first time we hear it. I'm Jeremy from Science.
No, that was the first time?
I think so, because Harper says, wait, there's not a Jeremy from Science. And then Alex says something of like, yeah, there is, and he has a huge crush on you.
And
which
you're
then
like,
Harper's like,
really?
oh, hello.
Hi.
And starts flirting with him. So I'm pretty sure, correct me if I'm wrong, guys, but I think this is the first Jeremy from Science.
That's very interesting.
Showing.
And how many times can they say Jeremy from Science
in
this episode?
A lot. In this particular scene.
And I did like the fact that him being an ogre, you know, they're there, so it's covered. We
he's
think
a goblin.
he's yeah. I know.
They're different.
Shit, ogre
They're
goblin.
different.
Yeah. No, what I'm saying is he is a real goblin.
Yeah.
But you think he's, you know, has got an outfit underneath.
He has a crush on me, so
yeah. So everything is out the window. If somebody has a crush on Harper.
If someone has a crush on Harper, she's very boy crazy, goblin crazy, whatever.
Right.
She's forgives a lot of sins at that point. And then she starts flirting with him, but then realizes that Alex makes the assumption that Alex helped him with his costume, which hurts her even more. Because
Alex
he
says that.
Yeah, he's like, oh yeah, she helped me with my costume.
Right.
And then, which makes Harper upset at Alex because she asked her to help her with her Battle Diva costume and she didn't. And then, of course, we have the dramatic moment of, you ruined my birthday. You're always lying to me. Like, you know. And now we're back to Teresa in the Battle Diva autograph line, who tricks Jerry to wait in her place.
Right.
Yeah.
and she gets me, and
Yeah.
I think that's very funny. And then she goes in to get the autograph, right?
Yes.
From, I can't believe I didn't write down her name.
No, I did. Lee Merriweather.
Who is a good friend of the family.
Is she really?
And was the original Catwoman.
No, she replaced Julia Newmar.
She was the second Catwoman on the Batman. And my brother Peter dated her daughter for a little bit.
I was going to say dated her. I was like, good thing.
Actually, Lee is now, she has Alzheimer's and is in the same place where my mom is that has Alzheimer's, which is the actor's home in the Valley. But the nicest, the sweetest. I had forgotten that she was, I guess because I didn't have a bit with her or whatever, but she was awesome. And Maria's reaction to her, what did she say? No biting? No biting or something?
And it's so funny because then Jerry and Max have the same thing where it's like they're going to get into like a battle. Mm-hmm. Like her and Battle Diva are going to get, Teresa and Battle Diva are going to get in a battle. And that's why she's like, no biting, no biting. Yeah. And then you guys turn around because you're trying to trick Max to.
And I remember trying to get.
We're kind of jumping around a little bit.
Yeah, but I wanted to do, the luchadors, do the thing where they spin them around.
Yeah.
And so I spun them around and, you got to make sure you don't drop anybody. But then he did the whole jump the elbow.
Hit the elbow. Yeah.
So funny.
No, and I love that they brought back the whole love of luchadors. Is like, because I love when in shows when they keep a through line like that because it's people. You don't have an interest and then drop it in the next episode. So it just creates a nice continuity. So like I said, we're jumping around a little bit, but that's just is what it is. So Alex, Jerry's waiting in line for Battle Diva. Alex approaches Hugh and Justin saying she needs to tell Harper that she's a wizard, which is an exposure code yellow. And Justice
There's so many codes that, 552, 748, and then they correct themselves.
Yes.
That takes me to a story. I was in North Carolina. Mm-hmm. My dad was at a Duke Diet and Fitness Center trying to lose weight so he can get a hip surgery. And we were sitting down listening to a scanner. And a police scanner.
Oh, yeah.
And they were like, we got a 748, which is like someone with a knife.
Yeah.
Or we got a 562, it's a robbery in progress. Mm-hmm. And then, and I'm not kidding, the cop says, we got I don't know the code. We got a naked guy with a gun. So there's no code for that.
Yeah.
All right.
No. We have the same thing with because of the hospital that I'm at.
Everything is a code, right?
Well, no. Because we're what's called a base station. So the ambulances will call us, like either if they're bringing something to us that has a certain level of acuity, or if they're going to another hospital that isn't a base station, they call us for if they need extra orders to give us a heads up that they're coming. And then we get ready for them or we prepare the other hospital that they're going to.
Got it.
But we have codes for like, we have like a respiratory distress other.
What is it?
That has a number. I don't know it off the top of my head.
Come on,
I don't know off the top of my head. I know it's R. Is the like the because it's respiratory distress other.
You said so many things just now that I don't understand.
It's okay. And then we have one for like if a patient comes in and like is like misusing the like the paramedic services I think it's
what's misusing the like you're just trying to get a ride from one place
so a lot of people think that if you call 911 you'll get in faster, which like if we have a ton of people in the waiting room, but
it has to be an emergency.
It has to be an emergency, but a lot of people come by ambulance not an emergency because they think it's like a fast pass or something.
Right.
So if they don't meet certain criteria, they go to the waiting room.
Right.
So and that's a particular code. So there's a code for everything.
When you said that your hospital is a base hospital, what does that mean? Base.
It means that we are basically a touchstone for paramedics and like the LAFD and the Burbank Fire Department. So like I said, when they have, it's a difference between ALS calls, which is like a higher acuity. And requires more specialty, they have to call us and let us know they're coming to the hospital or going to another hospital, which we then call that hospital. We're like a liaison if they need further treatment or a liaison of them bringing, ambulances.
Very cool. I love that you're a nurse. It's so
Thanks,
awesome.
David.
And I love that you work at the hospital that I was born at.
It's such a weird small world because Disney's right across the street. It's bizarre.
That's what we lived in the Palisades.
Yeah.
right? So if for people who don't know, that's a good like 45 minutes away.
Yeah.
At least. And my dad was doing the Dean Martin show at Disney Studios.
Amazing.
And so that my dad could be there, my mom drove herself
Yeah.
in labor to the Burbank Hospital.
From the Palisades? Oh, geez, Louise.
Isn't that crazy?
Your mom was such a badass.
Yeah, she was
Okay.
amazing. Okay.
So Alex is saying that she needs to tell Harper she's a wizard because she's sick of lying to her. Justin's hesitant because he's like, mortals are blabby. They just run their mouth. And Hugh suggests that Alex surprises Harper because nobody but your friends know what you like, and proceeds to give Justin a can of sprayable cheese, which he's like, oh, thank you.
Which was so weird. I'm sorry. I apologize to everybody. But the cheese thing, and then when you got, it was silly string.
It was silly string.
I mean, I would have preferred like an actual cheese thing.
I don't think you get the distance. I don't know if you get the same like trajectory that you do with like silly string. But I felt the same way I did about like the yogurt. Like to me, it didn't look like yogurt. To me, it looked like colored mashed potatoes.
Oh, yeah, exactly.
So yeah, to me, it looked like silly string. It didn't look like sprayable cheese. So Harper comes up and tells Jerry goodbye, since she and Alex are no longer friends, but she'll come back around when her and Justin start dating.
Wait a minute. I have to tell you, I missed an opportunity here. Because we had a nice little moment there.
I know.
In line when you came up, and I was like, fuck, David, you missed this sweet moment that we could have had where I'm
But it was
like,
so quick.
yeah, but it was my priority in my mind was I got to get out of line. I don't want to be in line
That would have been
anymore.
Jerry's priority.
I know, but there was a good little moment that I in looking back on it, I wish that I gave you a hug, but I wish that there was a little more to that moment with you. Yeah.
I think probably Harper and Alex have gotten in fights before, and she's probably done this dramatic goodbye, and Jerry's like, he'll be back around tomorrow.
Okay, there you go.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, yes. Thank you for making me feel better.
I got you. No, I don't think he missed a moment. It would have been weird if it was like a super dramatic moment. And then we're kind of back to what you were talking about, which is Jerry tries to trick Harper back into line until Justin shows up and challenges Harper to a duel. Everybody's dueling in this episode.
Right.
This is Battle Diva, PopCon.
Battle Royale.
Battle Royale. And Harper's very excited because she's now part of a love triangle between Justin and Jeremy from Science. He then sprays her with cheese, ruining her costume, which is also very mean. Yes, yeah. And then Alex surprises Harper with the enchanted Battle Diva costume, but not for Alex, for Jeremy from Science. That's who it's from. This is where you challenge Max to a wrestling match, waiting in line. Teresa gets a balloon hat and finally gets to the front of the Battle Divas for her autograph, and then challenges her to a duel. So we've got a Justin Harper duel. We've got a Jerry Max duel. We've got a Teresa and Battle Diva. Everybody's
dueling.
Fighting. Everybody's dueling. And then she gets her autograph. We duel. Then we're backstage at the costume contest. Justin's upset at Alex because if Harper shouts Battle Diva's cry, it's going to activate the enchanted costume's power.
Guess what happens, everybody?
I don't know.
Do it again.
Battle Diva, rise to the stars where you belong. It's weird
you
that
become like a 40s person there a little bit.
That was what made sense to me at the time.
Yeah, no, I love it.
So, but yeah, so you get her powers of flight, super strength, laser vision, super speed, and the ability to make people repeat themselves, which again, I don't know what the point of that is.
And you get to fly with the fire coming out of
my boots.
Yeah.
But
okay,
then,
so I have to ask you a question.
Yes, please.
So now you're up there.
Yeah.
Right? You're flying.
Mm-hmm.
Now this is Harper.
Yeah.
What is she thinking? That she's flying with fire coming out of her boots and she's up there on stage? To
me, so at the time, I remember justifying it as like Harper is so, especially at that early stage of her life, like the early seasons, she is so about love wherever she can get it. Because her home life was so not a loving space.
Right.
So whether it's from Justin, whether it's from Alex, whatever validation she can get. So there's a moment at the beginning when I go up in the harness where she's freaked out. But then she sees that she's getting all this love from the audience and quickly just is like, this is great. This is what I've always wanted,
But you know what's so funny? Like that's happening. And then later when they rig it up so that it looks like you actually go, oh, where did those ropes come from? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It was tricky. You made it work.
Thank you.
And I'm not complaining. I'm just saying.
No, I don't think you're complaining. It's a valid thought.
Well, there was just so much happening with you flying and being in the air and, I'm talking about suspense of disbelief, and like, you got to just be in it.
I think with Harper, there's people where it's like if they think too much about something, all like the demons and the trauma come up. That was my thought process with Harper. She never thinks about things too deeply because otherwise all the mean scaries deep inside
it's about acting. It's justifying what's happening.
Yeah.
So you justified it by, she's getting all this attention. She's always wanted to win the costume contest. And that's what's, happening.
Yeah. But that's kind of what I like about acting is sort of like the puzzle pieces you sort of have to put together and filling in the blanks, right? Of like the writers can't do a backstory for every single character. So filling that into where it makes sense to you in the performance, I find really fun.
You did well.
Well, thank you very much. My little 14-year-old self, which by the way, can I just say it broke my heart a little bit watching this episode. Because I remember I felt like such an awkward teenager and I remember feeling so fat in that outfit. And I remember feeling like I had such back knee. There's like one over the shoulder shot where I'm like, there's all my little acne. And I look back at that and I was like, I wish I could just go back and hug her and be like, you look great. Like, chill out.
You do. And you know what? I get that was in your mind. And I have that, I wasn't on television when I was, 14, but I think we all have that a little bit and nice. So you're going back and you're letting everybody now know that it's okay to be you and accept yourself and be loving. And I did see that you had back showing and arm showing and showing, but I didn't see any acne. I didn't see anything bad.
Well, but also too, it's yourself. You're going to be so because you spend all the time with yourself and I just remember being so insecure and feeling like, I remember, oh God, it's so painful to look back at. But there was,
sorry.
No, I put it in its place, but it's painful because I want to go back and I just want to hug like 14-year-old me and just be like, it doesn't matter as much as you think it does. And you've so made it so much worse in your head, which I think we all do when we're teenagers. But I remember Selena and I were backstage at the costume thing. And I remember touching her collarbones and being like, oh, you're so skinny, which I had struggled with eating disorders from 11 on. And I was kind of I was still in the middle of it, but it had just sort of changed in the way that it existed in my life. It wasn't quite as don't eat
prevalent.
And wake up super early, but it still existed. That thought process was still there. And I remember touching her collarbone and being like, oh, you're so skinny, which I found out later she was really insecure about being skinny. And then she was like, well, you have the same thing. And it's just crazy to me how much time we waste having this body dysmorphia about things,
Well, listen, this business, even if you're not in the business and just being in kind of Los Angeles, there's this bar that everybody is setting and, on filters and all these things.
Yeah.
But what we're doing now is telling the younger generation
that you're exactly as you are. You're okay.
You're wise and telling them that now we don't have to do that. We don't have to see that.
Which is such a waste of energy.
And looking at the positives, seeing what the nice things are about ourselves and focusing on those things. I'm a big component of the energy we put into the positive kind of comes back.
1,000%.
Like you put out positive stuff into the universe and the universe reflects that back on you. And if you put out negative stuff, the universe puts that back
And I think
at
it's
you.
natural with time to also just realize how much you waste time and energy, like you were saying, on something so negative when it's your body is going to change and you're going to be beautiful in every single iteration of yourself as long as you're healthy, as long as you're together. And then it's something that I wish I could go back and hug little me, and I wish I could hug the people that are going through their teens right now, because the stuff we fixate on before we have a broader perspective of the world, it's it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Whether you have the popular thing, whether you're this size, whether you have the cool partner or whatever, whether you're all that bullshit, it doesn't matter because it's it's in 10, 15, 20 years, whatever, you're not going to even remember what you were so insecure
but they
about
don't
or
know
why.
that at the time.
I know. It's
so
all
it's
all
tricky.
relative, but I just want to hug my little self and all the other little peoples out there, because it's going to pass and you're just stunning as you are. Anyway, something that was prevalent in my mind rewatching this episode.
Thank you for sharing that, Jen.
Yeah. So the emergency wizards freak out because they're trying to figure out how to distract the audience because she's flying.
Which is something that I could have done as Jerry Russo.
I know. You just want to steal all their lines.
No, I know. I just want to be participating.
But I love that Officer Goblin goes, well, I'm a goblin, and just goes out and is like, I'm a goblin.
Yeah,
like,
well, I thought that he was going to win the contest.
That would
I
make
was
sense.
going to be so pissed about that.
Well,
you
but
know?
also too, like they got to give Harper a win somewhere in this episode because she's just being shit on this whole episode.
Well, you win.
Yes, I win after they show the ropes, and then Harper very much doesn't go very deep because she's like, whatever, that was cool. I don't know where these ropes came from.
Yeah, well, like you said, she is wanting that attention.
Yeah,
and
she just wants love.
Justifying it. If I may, just for 1 second, there was a line where somebody says, I don't know if it's me, but superheroes are very similar to wizards. Or wizards are very similar to superheroes.
Oh, that's right.
And I don't know, did the Nickelodeon Thundermans, was this a thing on that?
That was pretty, this was pretty before that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because I think the Thundermans, great show, and I directed an episode, and they're all so sweet. I love those kids. And they just did a reboot movie thing, which was very successful.
Thea Samuels, who was one of our makeup artists, worked on.
Ah,
yeah,
right.
Bringing it all around, people.
But I just thought that was interesting.
Yeah, no. I actually totally didn't connect those dots. So thank you for bringing that up. So let me find my place here.
This is where magic is about to be revealed to Harper.
Yes.
And
this is go.
I know. I just love the fact that she's like, pick a card, any card. It had nothing to do with it, but that's magic.
No, I'm getting to that point. I'm getting to that point. So Alex feels terrible after Harper wins the costume contest and reveals Jeremy doesn't go to our school because he's a goblin from the wizard world, and I would know that because I'm a wizard. And all Harper can focus on is like, but he liked me, right?
Right.
And that's when Alex goes, okay, she's not getting it. Pick a card, any card. And she's like, why are you doing this? And I so remember it was the weirdest setup, and it looks so weird to me.
Because it looks like you guys are sitting.
We are sitting.
Oh, you are.
We were sitting. We were sitting. I remember it so clearly.
Like on a green screen.
We were sitting on a green screen and these chairs, these little chairs, and they told us to literally sit there and to act like we were in space. Which Selena, God bless her, is just like, fuck that. I'm not doing shit. And then literally and I'm over there going like, oh my God, I'm in space, which we absolutely are sitting. And we look like we're sitting down. But she has a birthday cupcake, and it's another brainstem line for me of going in space.
Yeah,
like
in
over
space.
and over.
I was loving that. That was really funny.
Yeah, but the weird zero gravity sitting this thing.
Yeah, it was very odd.
So bizarre.
I guess it's tricky to get you guys. I mean, the freaking harness was there because you had
I was
just
already in
used
it for flying. Yeah, so I don't know why we didn't just do that. Maybe because there was two of us. I don't know. But the sitting choice was weird. I would love to know why the in space was seated.
We'll ask Victor.
We will. So in our tag, we're back at the sub shop over Harper's birthday cake. Justin expresses concern to Jerry about Harper knowing, and I love your response because you're like, they'll mess it up by Saturday, and then we'll just erase Harper.
Yeah, no, I love that. I love that because because what is it? Justin says, I've balked at this, on the cab ride home. I was like, this is not okay, and I'm just like, they're gonna fuck it up, and then we'll just. Erase everybody's memory or whatever.
Well, I love it. They're just like, Harper doesn't need her memory or whatever.
I didn't mind that. I didn't mind that disclaimer. I thought
I loved it. I thought it was so funny, which, as we come to find out, they never have to erase her memory because she's good at keeping her. She's a good friend. She keeps good secrets.
And the upcoming episodes of how you freak out about magic is so funny. Okay.
We'll do those in future rewatches.
We're gonna show you the lair now.
Yeah, and then you guys go into the lair, which I'm like, what is this like food storage thing? Because I think I have a line earlier in the episode where I talk about like her spending all her time in the food storage.
Well, you say we were doing homework and then you went away
disappeared.
you abandoned me. You know what I mean? For 45 minutes in the storage.
Food storage.
But in this episode, we open the door and there's those boxes.
Yeah.
There that we've only seen once. In another episode.
It's Dragon the dog.
And what doesn't make sense is she does the magic to turn the door into the layer rather than the box, the storage thing.
Yeah.
But never, like once or twice throughout the series, they do the magic for the door, when they go in and out.
I can't justify that one.
It's okay.
I can't justify that one.
Good, Jen.
You're like, thank God. Okay. So, have you ever been to Comic-Con?
I've not been to Comic-Con, but I've done many conventions because I did Stargate.
Yeah.
I played Pete Shanahan, and I've done many Stargate
You're like
conventions.
Shanahan.
Yeah.
I like that name.
For the Stargate fans, they know they call me Stalker Pete because Amanda Tapping and I had like a love interest thing, and
Okay.
I didn't trust her
Oh.
because she was in a secret military program thing, and I'm a
Okay.
cop, so I follow her,
Yeah.
around. So they call me Stalker Pete.
Cool.
But so to all the Stargate fans, they're so supportive and
Yeah.
so fun, and I've gotten to go to Europe and Germany
Yeah.
and to Paris to do conventions and stuff. And have you done conventions and stuff? And have you done?
I've done signings. I don't know if I've ever done like a full blown convention.
But
I know.
you sit down at the table and you sign.
Yeah, but
autographs
not
and stuff.
at a convention.
Ah.
So like they were more like autograph signing stuff, which I did those during the show. And I know Maria's talked to me about like, what if we all got together and went to one, which I think that would be really fun.
Yeah.
Doing it by yourself is a little isolating and it's a
It's
job.
very odd because people walk
job.
by and you're like, "Hi,"
And it's like, but it's
oh, you want an autograph?
It's fun meeting. The fun part about it is meeting the fans, but doing it by
Exactly.
your own can be a little awkward.
I
I
have-
like the shared experience.
Yeah, I mean, through social media and different things, but I have connected with a lot of fans. There's a lot of people that continue to go there, especially in the Stargate world.
Yeah. Well,
They-
any sort of comic book sci-fi, those fan bases are so beautifully
Diehard,
voracious,
and fun, and you get
fun,
to hang
yeah.
out with them, and it's a good time. It's not just like, at least the Stargate conventions, because I've gone to one almost yearly in Vancouver, and they love to go there, and,
Yeah.
and there's a lot of people from different places, and they, there's even people from like Ireland and stuff that are
Yeah,
going
yeah.
there, and they all get to hang out with each other. It's like
Yeah.
almost like a summer camp.
Sure.
kind
When
of
it's like
feel.
it's like a joint, like a shared love of something. So okay, my last question.
Yeah.
And then we'll go out. Is so in this at PopCon, we have the enchanted outfit. So if you could have an enchanted PopCon outfit with the superpowers that come with it, which superhero would you choose? And you can't do a double D battery guy or triple D or whatever.
I mean, listen, I think being invisible, that power,
Okay.
being the invisible man,
Okay. Oh,
or
that's
the invisible
cool.
person.
How would you do that costume? What does that costume look like?
You don't see
invisible.
nothing. It's invisible.
So you're like, I could enjoy it from my own home.
Yeah, so I know the costume. Okay, so I mean, something with muscles, I guess. But I'm just thinking about superpower now.
Yeah.
I think being invisible would
That's
be
a cool
very
one.
powerful.
Yeah. Sure.
What about you?
I would probably, I'm going to kind of cheat a little bit. I love X-Men. So I'd probably do Rogue from X-Men, which is a cosplay I've wanted to do, and I just haven't yet. I'll do it one Halloween. But because she can take anybody's powers.
Right.
So I just have to touch people and zap them, and I
become
get their
them.
powers. So I can mix and match.
Yeah.
So that would be mine.
I love it. I love X-Men too, by the way. And I have a question for you.
Okay. And then we'll wrap up the episode.
Yeah, so
Now that Harper knows about magic.
it's interesting because what you were talking about your 14-year-old self and everything, and the friends, and I know it's different for you because you kind of, school was a little
Yeah.
different, but growing up,
Yeah.
the friends that you have when you're younger, do you still stay in touch with that kind of thing? Because I have like one or two people that I still.
I think that's normal.
know?
I was gonna say I feel like there's seasonal friends that are in your life for a time, serve a purpose, and then you kind of grow apart. And then I think, and which a lot of those friends when you're a kid are. And then I think there's like tried and true diehard friends, and those are few and far between. My mom used to say, if you can count on one hand the amount of people that you could still have in your life
You're
after
lucky.
decades, you're really lucky.
Well, your mom is smart.
But God bless her. But I have one friend, Rebecca, who I've been friends with literally since I was born. She actually just had a baby, which blows my mind.
Wow.
But she was on Wizards. She was in the quinceanera episode. She was an extra.
Ah.
And then I mean, Selena, like I said, we stay in contact from that time. And other than that, there's people that I'm friendly with, but
Yeah.
I'm not like super, super close to. But I think that's natural.
Yeah, it's different. I mean, I'm going to say Facebook, but I mean, social media.
Yeah.
We can stay in touch with people
Yeah.
and whatnots. So I'm going to say to the fans, let us know in the comments what outfit you would like.
Oh, yeah, for the superhero powers?
Yes.
Yeah, I'd love to know that. Well, guys, it's been another great rewatch of Wizards of Waverly Pod, and we're going to go in space.
What? In space? In space? Oh, shit. Wait. Did you love the fact that you now were going to be
Of
in the
course.
zone of being aware of magic
Of
and all
course,
that?
it
And
made my job so much easier that I didn't have to constantly just be like, huh? And like
Right.
looking the other way.
Right.
So yeah, of course, it made my job so much easier. And I got to be involved in like the A storyline.
Right, the
there was
hijinks.
so much more fun that I got to have with Alex and the
love it.
Russos. So yeah, of course. But yeah,
Good.
but thanks for watching, guys.
All right, everybody.
We'll see you next week.
Goodbye. We'll see you soon.